So you're running a journal using Open Journal Systems, or OJS, and you know that getting noticed is everything. Well, getting indexed in the Directory of Open Access Journals, the DOAJ, is a huge deal. It's a major step up. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to do it step by step. Think of this as your go-to guide for making your journal a real player in the global scholarly world.
Here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get into the why, the big payoffs for getting indexed. Then, we'll run through a readiness checklist before we map all those requirements directly onto your OJS settings. After that, we'll talk about the key info you have to have on your site, and we'll wrap up with some best practices that'll really make your journal shine.
Okay, so let's start with the big question. What's the payoff here? Why should you invest all this time and effort? Well, it's about so much more than just getting your name on a list. It's about joining a trusted, global community. And believe me, the benefits are huge.
I mean, just look at the scale here. It's massive. We're talking over 19,000 journals from more than 130 countries. Getting your journal listed here means you're instantly seen as a credible, serious player on the world stage. You're in very, very good company.
And here's what's really cool. See how these benefits all build on each other? Getting indexed boosts your reputation. That reputation signals that you follow high standards. That helps you meet requirements from major funders, like those who follow Plan S. All of this makes your journal way more discoverable, which ultimately gets you a global audience. It's like a powerful upward spiral.
So, before you even dream of hitting that apply button, you've got to get your house in order. Let's think of this as our pre-flight check, making sure everything is good to go for a smooth journey.
Okay, listen up, because this is a huge pro tip. The application itself is all online, right? But the DOAJ gives you a PDF version. Download that PDF first. Use it like a worksheet to get all your ducks in a row. Seriously, this one little step will make the final submission so much faster and way less stressful. Trust me on this.
Now, these are the non-negotiables. You absolutely have to have an active website with its own URL, a confirmed ISSN, and a peer review process that's clearly explained. You also need an editorial board with at least 5 people, super clear copyright terms, and you need to have published at least 5 research articles in the past year. And the key thing? All of this has to be incredibly easy to find on your website.
All right, now for the really practical part. You've got all this information, but where the heck does it actually go inside the OJS dashboard? It can feel a little like a maze at first, but it's actually super straightforward when you know the map. So let's connect the dots between the DOAJ requirements and your OJS settings.
And what's great is that OJS is basically built for this. You can see the core info has its own specific home. Your journal title and publisher info, that goes right into the masthead tab. Your main contact details, they live under the contact tab. It's all laid out logically for you.
And it's the exact same story for your editorial and review process info. There's a spot for your editorial team right under the masthead. You can pop your peer review process details into the About the Journal section, and your author guidelines have their own dedicated home in the workflow settings. OJS really has a place for everything.
Okay, so we've handled the back-end data entry. Now let's switch gears and put on our reviewer hats. We need to focus on what the world and the DOAJ reviewers will actually see on your public website. And when it comes to this, clarity is absolutely everything. If you take one thing away from this section, let it be this. The About the Journal section is your most important tool. You'll find this handy little text box under your masthead settings, and you should really treat it like the central command hub for all of your key policies.
So in that About the Journal box, you need to spell out your journal's aims and scope and your open access statement. And please pay really close attention to this next part. It is absolutely crucial that your full copyright and licensing policy is stated right there, publicly and clearly. No hiding it, no linking out, it has to be there.
Next up, transparency about fees is another huge checkpoint. You have to be totally upfront about any article processing charges, or APCs. And here's the kicker. If you don't charge any fees, if you're what's called Diamond Open Access, you can't just be quiet about it. You have to come right out and say it.
Boom! This right here is exactly what they're looking for. It's simple, it's direct, and there's absolutely no room for misunderstanding. Putting a sentence just like this on your website instantly checks the box for being transparent about author fees.
All right, so you've nailed all the requirements. Getting indexed is the main goal for sure. But what if you want to level up? If you want to show you're really committed to top-tier, modern scholarly communication, there are a few more steps you can take. These aren't required, but wow, they are highly recommended.
First on the list, DOIs.
Think of a digital object identifier as a permanent address for your article on the internet. It guarantees that no matter what happens to your website's URL, there's always a stable, reliable way to find that content. And the best part? OJS has a plugin that makes assigning them super simple.
Next up is ORCID. If a DOI is a permanent address for an article, an ORCID ID is like a permanent ID card for an author. It lets researchers connect all of their publications under one unique profile, making sure they get credit for their work no matter where it's published. And you guessed it, OJS has a plugin for that too.
And to complete this power trio, we have ROR, the Research Organization Registry. This does for institutions what ORCID does for people. It creates a standardized way to list affiliations, making everything clean and clear. This whole set, DOI, ORCID, and ROR, is the gold standard, and OJS supports all three.
So there you have it. That's the full roadmap, from understanding why this matters all the way to implementing the best of the best practices. As you can see, yeah, there are a few steps, but every single one is clear and totally doable right inside OJS. You've got the guide, you know the way, so the only question left is, what's the very first step you're going to take to get your journal DOJ ready?